Lord done it 2 weeks ago, and I followed him. Last Sunday, Uncle Randy back there, I had to carry him inside between Sunday school and church service and talk to him. He said, that's what the Lord told you to do, do it. Amen. Well, the pastor Sunday walked it on the midnight hour. If it's saying the midnight hour, I don't know what it is. Amen. You raised Lazarus from the dead. Luke 5, there's a guy in the bed. They couldn't get him in the sanctuary. They cut a hole through the roof. You think I'd have done it? Yes, I would have. Yeah. That's determination. Yeah. In Luke 17, they had lepers. 10 of them. One come back and thank God. I'm thanking God right now for his healing. Yeah. John 5. At the pool of Bethesda, the guy couldn't get in the pool because nobody would pick him up. Well, I brought him up here. Amen. Jesus healed him. He took up his bed and laid. Now then, the next thing is we're not doing what BIBLEC, basic instruction before leaving earth. James 5:14. The elders come up here and pray. Anointed with oil. So if you're an elder, I need you up here. Go anointed. That's what the Word tells us. If I'm wrong, somebody tell me. So the elder's supposed to anoint him. I'm expecting a healing. Might not be today, might not be tomorrow, but I'm expecting a healing.
Hallelujah. place where the Spirit of the Lord is free to move. I'm so honored to be in a place where the Spirit of the Lord is free. Hallelujah. Keep your minds on the Lord this morning. The Spirit of the Lord is moving in this house today. Praise the Lord.
Yea, the Lord would say unto thee, continue to open your hearts and your minds unto me, saith the Lord. For behold, I am in your presence this day, saith God. Yea, no longer put me in a box, but let me expand your horizons in me, saith the Lord. For there's an infinity of knowledge that I would pour out unto thee. Yea, I am the Lord thy God. I am that I am is in thy midst, saith the Lord. Yea, and I shall bring thee out to take thee in, saith the Lord.
Hallelujah. Can you just lift your hands to the Spirit of the Lord that is in the house today? Hallelujah. Thank you, Spirit of God. Thank you, Spirit of God. You're here today for purpose. It's just not by chance that you stumbled into this place today. You're here for purpose. You're here for purpose today. I just want you to praise Him just a few minutes. We're not in a hurry this morning. I'm not in a hurry this morning. This message is going to come today. I'm not in a hurry today. I'm going to wait upon Him today. Sing a little more of that chorus, please.
What a powerful name it is. What a powerful name it is. The name of Jesus Christ our King. What a powerful name it is. And nothing can stand against. What a powerful name it is. The name of Jesus. What a powerful name it is. What a powerful name it is. The name of Jesus Christ our King. What a powerful name it is. And nothing can stand against. What a powerful name it is. The name of Jesus. What a powerful name it is. What a powerful name it is. The name of Jesus Christ our King. What a powerful name it is. And nothing can stand against. What a powerful name it is. The name of Jesus. What a powerful name it is. The name of Jesus.
Lord, we praise you today. Anybody got a praise for Him in this house? I think we can do better than that. Can anybody just give a hand clap of praise? Singers, I think you might be free to go now. I don't know. Musicians, I wouldn't leave yet. Such a presence of the Lord in the house today. Such a presence of the Lord in the house today. I said there's such a presence of the Spirit of the Lord in the house today. This morning I'm going to bring you this message. It's for everybody in this house. It's not just for one today, it's for everybody in this house, starting with me and going all the way through. I believe everything that comes forth from the Lord is for some purpose. This morning there's people in the house. It's already been said, but I'm going to say it again. You place God in a box. You limit Him. You limit Him. You limit Him because of what you think you don't have. When He says you have me, what else do you need? You have me. What else do you need? I want you to get your minds on the Lord. We're going to wait just a few minutes because there's a few that you're not deciding whether you want to stay or leave. I go ahead and leave. If you have to be made to be in the presence of the Lord, then there's something wrong. You need. If you can't feel the Spirit of the Lord in this house today, then that's not the air coming and breathing down on your neck. That's the Holy Ghost. He's wanting to do work in you today. He's already told me that today walls are coming down. Walls of unbelief and doubt and bitterness and hate. They're coming down today. Because He's going to allow you to know who He really is. You're going to know Him in His fullness today. He wants you to know Him for who He is and what He is able to do with what little bit you can offer Him. What little bit you have today in His sight is awesome. If you'd join hands with someone this morning as we get ready to go into the Word. This morning, Spirit of the Lord, this has been a different service, but it's been ordained by you. Now is the time that your word's going forth. Lord, I ask that you anoint me because you have placed me here, that you anoint these words that will come out of my mouth today. Lord, that you would anoint the ears and the hearts of the people that are gathered here today, and they would listen to you today. Listen to you today. We love you, we praise you. And everybody said, Amen. Thank you, musicians. Thank you, Dylan. You can be seated if you can. Praise the Lord. I want you to get your Bibles this morning. I want you to go to 2 Kings chapter 4. We're going to read the first 7 verses. If you've been here any length of time, we've been here so many times. But today is totally different because there's a different place He wants to take you today. Some of you in the house, you have been living on your granny or your mama's experience with God or your one-time experience, and some of you have never had an experience with Him. But today, I come by to tell you that He has greater plans for you. Amen. But what it really is, when it's all said and done, is your expectation of who He is. Yes. My expectation of Him today is that He is great. Amen. Because I have seen Him move in the worst situation. I've seen Him move. Even when things were going good, I have experienced His power, as many of you have this morning. But this morning we're going here because the Spirit of the Lord led us back to this passage of Scripture here in 2 Kings chapter 4 as we go into this message today, which is entitled, The Exception. Amen. I don't care who you are today or where you're from, the color of your skin or your bank book amount. I come by here today to tell you that God said that if you are where He needs you to be, then He can operate a miracle for you. Here in 2 Kings chapter 4, we're going to a very familiar passage of Scripture that many of you have already made up your mind that where we're going, you've already been there, and you just really should have stayed home today. But I come by to tell you, you should be in tune with what the Spirit of the Lord is wanting to do. Amen. When there is no expectation or no exception about what we want, then we get in a mess. Amen. Now, I battled this morning because I am not a well-educated man. I am not. But in my battles, he said, the battle's not yours, it's mine. There's a few people in the house today that are expecting a whole lot, and there's a few that are expecting nothing because they do not realize that I am a God of exception. Have you ever been to a place of business where they have a certain way they do things, and then when it seems like it's with you, they say, but this time we're going to make an exception. We're going to make an exception. There's just something about you that we're going to move you to the front of the line. We really don't do it, but there's something about you, and we're going to make an exception today. The Spirit of the Lord told me to tell you today, some of you are right on the verge of an exception because you have thought, what God can you do? Because I have so little. He says, little is much when I am in it. Praise the Lord. Now there cried a certain woman of the wives of the sons of the prophets unto Elisha, saying, thy servant, my husband, is dead. And thou knowest that thy servant did fear the Lord. You know that my husband feared the Lord. You know what kind of man he was, but now he's dead. But you know he did fear the Lord. And now the creditor is come to take unto him my 2 sons to be bondmen. And Elisha said unto her, what shall I do for thee? Tell me, what hast thou in the house? Now I want you to really listen to what he's asking her. What can I do for you? Because you've come crying to me. You are in a state of despair and fear because your husband trusted in God. But you always let your husband trust in God. Some of you today, you've let grandma trust in God. You've let mama trust in God for you. But now, mama and granny's gone. And you don't have any type of knowledge of what God can do for you. But he said today, I'm going to show you in what you do not know that you have. That I am going to show you not your problem, but I'm going to make exception out of what you have. And she said, when he asked the question of what she had in the house, and she said, thine handmaid hath not anything in the house. Did you hear what she said? I don't have anything in the house. That's why I'm coming to you. There's nothing in the house save a pot of oil. Let that sink in, because I'm not moving till you do. Save a pot of oil. I don't have anything in the house. But I do have a pot of oil. Oh, that's when God steps in. Because I want to tell you that the God that I'm talking about today, to him, it's not just a pot of oil. To him, it is gold. Because this God that I've come by to tell you about today, he says, wait till you see how I turn a pot of oil into a pot of gold. Because I know how that I can take the least when you're exception. What you laughing about? Because I'm excited. Save a pot of oil. That's all I got. They're coming to get everything. They're going to take the sons. You got to go back and study it, and you see she's on the verge of losing everything to have nothing. But the prophet says, What you got in the house? What you got in the house? I come by to tell somebody today, you're dwelling on the bad. You're dwelling on the situation, not on the Savior. What you got in the house? Oh, I got a pot of oil. Nothing but a pot of oil. A pot of oil. Not a big pot, but it's a pot. And it's got oil in it. Now, if we were dealing with a situation to where the prophet believed that there was no type of exception for anything, he would have said, well, I'll be praying for you. Some of you have been told, well, that's just the way it is. I hate to hear that.
Amen.
Not when God's in it. Because I want to tell you, when God is in it, He says, I can move like I've never moved before. But until you begin to trust me to be God,
Amen.
I will make an exception on your part.
Amen.
Because that's who I am. Verse 3. Then he said, oh, I'm sorry. I can't help you. Pot of oil won't get it. No. Because I want to tell you, he said, go borrow thee
Amen.
vessels abroad of all thy neighbors. Now I want you to listen to this. Even empty vessels, borrow not a few.
Amen.
Because I'm going to make an exception today for you. I'm going to take something that is broken, something that is destitute. There's no way around it according to what your custom says, but I am God of exceptions. I got something to tell you, little widow woman.
Amen.
He didn't say this, but I'm going to say it. You just don't know that that pot of oil is just sitting there shaking because it knows that when I get in it
Amen.
and you come out of faith and you bring something to me that I can use, because until you trust me to be God,
Amen. Come on. Come on.
but you soon see me move if you'll obey my voice. I come by to tell somebody today, you need to get your house in order and get ready. Because God's going to show you who He really is when you take your glasses off. He's going to show you who He really is. Oh, but wait a minute. Wait a minute. Me and a cousin was talking the other day, and we talked for about an hour, and she began to tell me all the bad and all the bad and all the bad on my side, on the Shirley side. And I said, but wait a minute.
Amen.
Wait a minute. And I didn't even know I was going here. Wait a minute. I am not
Amen.
cut out of that cloth. No, 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 no. I serve a God who is able. And if He can turn me around, He can turn anybody around. God, talk to me about a word. Talk to me about a blessing. But you gotta go.
Glory.
And you got to step out of your comfort zone, and you got to get busy. And when I'm telling you what I'm telling you to do, it's going to embarrass you sometimes. Oh, don't you act like you ain't never. Well, some of you probably never have. Go borrow the vessels abroad. He's saying, move into every neighborhood. Get out of your comfort zone and go and get some vessels. Because, see, he knew what this God that her husband knew about was going to do.
Amen.
But, see, her perception had no exception to it. Because she thought it was over. But when she said, all I got is that pot of oil, things begin to change.
Amen.
But you go and you borrow the vessels abroad of all thy neighbors. Listen to this, empty vessels. Empty vessels. Don't you come back with something that's got somebody else's blessing in it.
That's right.
Because I don't need to have to pour what I want to pour into you over what somebody else has said they blessed you. All I'm getting at nobody else is, I want me some people who will come to me with as many empty vessels as they can. And borrow not a few. Because you hollered at the wrong person. Because this God that I serve, this God that your husband served, knows that this God
Amen.
can make exceptions.
Yes, amen.
This woman had placed her whole faith system on what she did not have. Can you just imagine the days before she got in touch with the prophet? I'm going there because I can. Going through the house and saying, I don't know what we're going to do. That's owed. That's borrowed. My two sons, I'm going to lose y'all because custom says if daddy's not here to pay, then we're going to have to give you up. And every day she was going past that pot of oil. Have you ever done that? You should. Must be, because I'm here preaching it to you. We get tore up when all we got to do is pray up.
Amen.
Get in touch with God. But he said, I want you because I can see that you don't know enough about this God. But I want you to go and borrow some vessels. But I don't want you just to borrow it in the neighborhood. Go abroad. Your neighbors across the street, their neighbors in the next town, but you get them all and you bring them. But borrow them, not a few. Because I come out to tell somebody today, that's how your expectation of Jesus is. That all he feels is this. When he says, I can feel big.
Amen. Amen.
Lord, I'm losing some of it. Let's get back. And when thou art come in, thou shalt shut the door upon thee and upon thy sons, and shalt pour out into all those vessels, and thou shalt set aside that which is full. Until you trust God to be God, you're never going to experience anything.
Amen.
This morning and say, you know what? I've been there. I've trusted Him, and I've seen Him move in a mighty, miraculous way. When I knew that it had to be Him, it could not be any man.
Amen.
Praise the Lord. Met a lady some 30, almost 40 years ago, 30 years ago, who completely trusted in God. I found it hard to believe because her expectation of God really was knowing that God would make an exception in her behalf because she was trusting Him.
Amen.
She said one day she was hungry and she began to pray to the Lord, and He said, if you'll get that little grill out there on your little porch ready, you got a little bit of charcoal. If you'll get it ready, I'll send you some steaks.
Amen.
She said, I went out and I set the grill up and I squirted that on and lit it. And my friend come by and said, what are you doing? I'm getting ready for a steak. She said, I hate to be the one to tell you, Vera, but you don't even have anything in your refrigerator. She said, I may not now.
Amen.
But in about 20 or 30 minutes, or however long it takes, He said, if I get ready, He'd send the meat to go on it. And I'm trusting Him for that. When she ate steak. I knew that'd get you excited. Food always does. But you're going to pour into all those vessels. But don't you borrow a few, you borrow As many as you can get. Dylan, just come and get ready, please. And when thou art come in, thou shalt shut the door upon thee and upon thy sons. I want you to listen to this. This is what I need to get to you today. Some of you are going by what somebody tells you when you need to listen to God.
Amen.
My wife does never argue with me when the Spirit of the Lord speaks to me. She has learned. I'm going to listen to him. Have I always known? No, because I never thought of him no more than what my mama told me. I never thought of him to do for me what he did for her until I got a relationship with him. And I knew what he done for her. He said, I'll do even more for you. But when thou art come in, Rocky, there's going to be times that we're going to have to shut the door. When the bills are not being able to be paid and we've done everything we can do and we've worked. I ain't talking about laying up on the couch. I'm talking you've worked and you've done everything you know to do and the enemy tells you okay. And God says, oh no. You do what I require of you and I'll do what you require of me. But I'm not getting a whole lot of people that require anything of me. That's what he told me. I'm not getting a whole lot of people that require anything of me anymore because they do not understand that I can make exceptions. But when you come in, and you got to understand that this woman and her two sons, she sent her two sons, and they're coming in, Bosco, with something that is out of the ordinary for the neighborhood. They're coming in, Denise, with empty vessels. And you got to understand their custom in that time. This was probably throwing everybody for a loop. They had nosy neighbors back in those days. Mama, you know the lady down the road that we just went to her husband's service? I've just seen her sons going into the house, unloading empty vessels. Why would they be doing that? Because that doesn't even sound like anything that's ever been done. That's what people will start saying about you when you learn to trust God. That has... Mother, the strangest thing just happened. I was out with the other kids and those two boys that their daddy's dead. They're going in the house and they told him empty vessels. Mama, I even seen one that, yeah, it was because he borrowed it from me. Wonder what they're doing with them. Don't know, they didn't ever save it. They just wanted to borrow him empty. So I had to pour out one to let him have it. Amen. And I had no clue that what I was pouring out, God was going to pour in. Yeah. Now they've shut the door. Wonder what they're doing in there. Nobody comes to the door. Shut the door because sometimes God wants you to trust Him when nobody else is around. Sometimes it's in the midnight hour when you have to trust Him to be the God that can make an exception. When they said you would never have that job because there's 200 ahead of you, He can make you that one. Thou shalt shut the door upon thee and upon thy sons, and shalt pour out into all those vessels. Thou shalt set aside that which is full. You got to get it. Because I come by to tell somebody today, until you do your part, because you got to understand, She only had a pot of oil. And she had to pour that pot of oil into another vessel. That's where some of you are today. I let you have some of that, but don't get all of it because I got to have this. I'll give you a little of this, but you can't have all of it because I got to have enough. But he said, no. You bring in those empty vessels and you begin to pour. Because I want to get your concentration off of your problems. Off of your problems. I never knew that a $2 bottle of Walmart oil would come in handy. It's been a problem so many times. The enemy had no problem with her until she took the top off of it. Oh! But once she took the top off, it was no threat. Some of you are no threat to the enemy because you talk about it, trust in him. You sing about trust in him. But you've never removed your lid. You close that door. You don't need an audience. You don't need an audience right now because when I get through with what I'm going to do, then everybody's going to know something happened in house number 44. Okay, boys. Mama's going to do something that Daddy would have done and you wouldn't have thought anything about it. Because Daddy was crazy. I got to tell this. We're going to get to that in a minute. Me and Regina, and a lot of you know I call her the queen. She's my queen. And when we was getting married, I took her to see this. Oh my Lord. This trailer was wore out when we got it. Oh my Lord. The windows, when the wind would get in it, there was those roll-back windows and they'd just flap. And it had that disco shag carpet. They were going to give you the trailer and every piece of furniture in it, even the beds. We're going to give it to you, even the gas tank. We still own the gas tank. You know I'm throwing that away. That's my memory. I will never get rid of that gas tank because that is my blessing. When I touch it. Sometimes we have to get into some situations because we're spoiled brats. In the wintertime, when Tara would sit and open her presents, those windows were so broken and well, why don't you repair them? You don't know me. I put plastic on them. I would absolutely freeze. I'm not kidding you. My back would just get froze from sitting at that window because whatever blew out there came in. In the summertime, Monique, it was so hot. But we stayed. Me and Regina started having prayer meetings in our living room. Because we were so strict holiness then you couldn't do nothing else. I'm just being real. We could pray though. So Regina's grandmother, Gloria's mama, Ruth, had got saved. She'd been talking about it for years. She finally got an experience with God, and she'd come over and we'd pray and we'd pray and we'd pray. And the Spirit of the Lord would move and we'd bring other people in. Mama and some of the ladies would come in that old trailer with no underpinning. It was jacked up on one end. But it was home. Amen. One night the Spirit of the Lord spoke to me and he said, I need you to obey me today. Because if you don't obey me in this, then I can never trust you in anything else. And I was running from the call then. And I'm thinking, you're talking to me? You're talking to me? You're asking me about obeying? You know I'm not one to obey. He said, I want you to get out and I want you to crawl in that yard. It was almost midnight. It was raining. I said, okay, let me change my clothes. These are my best blue jeans. He said, no. Don't you change them. I'm asking you to crawl, and I want you to crawl in the best. Because I need your best. I told Regina, I said, I'm going to go out and crawl in the yard. And she just said, okay. That's what they do when they love you. Okay, I'm going on the bed. I said, okay. You're not going to change? No, I'm going to wear what I got on. Strict holiness, folks. Your blue jeans was your motto. And I remember going out and it was raining and I got out and he said, I want you to crawl. So I crawled just a little bit. I said, okay. And I got up and he said, no. I want you back down. I want you to crawl. I want you to crawl. Slither like a snake. People gonna think I'm crazy. He says, nobody, you have no neighbors. Nobody here. I want you to obey me. So I began to crawl around and matter of fact, about the 7th round, I really liked it. Muddy from head to toe. And finally he said, you can go in the house now. Get your shower. I went in there, took me a shower, put those good blue jeans. They come out just fine, nothing, no tears. Wasn't long after that, Bosco, till a man come by that heard me and Regina talking. He said, I'd like to build y'all a house. I'd like to build y'all a house. It'll be the first house I build, and you'll be a model home, and I'm going to give you a good deal on it. And I said, yeah, right. Because I didn't trust. I come from you didn't get anything. You didn't expect anything unless you gave something. God said that's what's wrong with a lot of the people in the house today. They think that I can't do for them what I did for this widow woman. Wasn't long till that house was built, right where I crawled. I can trust Him for that because I've been through it. But there's others that sounds good, but you almost get the lid off. But if I pour this into that, I've got to give that back. That's not mine, that's borrowed. But here we go, boys. Your daddy would have probably done this a lot better if she began to pour. And it said as soon as she poured one full, they brought her another one. Dwayne, remember that little thing you give me? Dwayne brought me something back from the Indian tribe. I was thinking of that today. Even if her all vessel was no bigger than that, and I was going to bring it in here, but I was afraid somebody'd break it, so I can't put up. But the Lord was speaking to me today, and He said, you see, even if it was just that big, when I'm in it, and you're obeying me to the fullest, if you pour it out of a thumb, I'll replenish. She kept pouring. And they set it aside. And verse 5 says, so she went from him and shut the door upon her and upon her sons who brought the vessels to her, and she poured out because she finally got her mind off of her troubles. And on the promise. And she poured out. And it came to pass when the vessels were full that she said unto her son, bring me yet a vessel. And he said unto her, there is not a vessel more. And the oil stayed. Stand across the sanctuary, please. verse 7. Then she came and told the man of God, and he didn't act excited. He just looked at her and said, go sell the oil and pay the debt. Live thou and thy children on the rest. Simple. Simple story. From an extraordinary God.
Amen.
I'm going to ask the crazy thing of you today. This morning I want to know how many in the house this morning that you understand that you serve a God that is full of exceptions.
Yes.
I want you to come. I want you to step out this morning. I want you to come down here in your spirit, man, bringing all you have to Him. This woman, all she had was a pot of oil. But He said, when you get through, you're going to know me for who I am. This morning, it sounds crazy. Some of you will never do it. I understand that, because you do not want anybody to know that you can get to that level of being crazy. But this morning, as they get ready to sing, there's some men and women of faith today. There's some you need salvation today. These altars are open for you. But there's others that you have absolutely given up on trusting God to do what the world tells you cannot be done. He says, but I am a God that makes exceptions.
Yes.
What they say cannot happen, when I'm in it, it will happen.
Yeah.
Well, I sit here by myself. I refuse, Lord, to serve you and limit you to just a little bit, when you are a God that says, I can make an exception to the rule, and I can pour out upon you things that the world's told you you'll never have. So I am saying,